Hey guys, I just wanted to bring you updated playoff predictions. And basically, don't leave hate just because I don't pick your team. It's whatever, it's just predictions. Let's get into it.
So right here with the first one, I have Toronto Maple Leafs beating the Montreal Canadiens in 6 games. I think Montreal just doesn't have enough experience, but I think next year they'll have more experience. They'll be 1 year better, and I think they'll be ready next year, just not this year. Okay, so this pick really goes back and forth. It was going to be Edmonton until I found out that Nick Ehlers will return for the playoffs. But I think I'm going to go with Winnipeg here. I think Winnipeg just has the better defense, the better goaltending, and the better depth offense. And I think they will take this in 7 games. Okay, so this one there's not very much to say, but I think Carolina will win just because the fact their defense is so good and then their top line is very, very good. And even their second line is pretty good. And Peter Mrazek's looking like he's going to be back. I think he is back already. And they're looking like they're going to be a strong team, especially because defense does so much in the playoffs. So I have them taking this in 5 games. This is one that I went back and forth on, and I kept doing it up until I picked Tampa, just based on the goaltending. Vasilevsky's just a way better goalie than Drieger and Bobrovsky. Um, you can't really pick Florida to beat Tampa when those are the goalie matchups. So I picked Tampa, and Tampa's the defending Stanley Cup champions too, so I picked them. So here I have a little bit of an upset. It's the New York Islanders over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and honestly, I could see Pittsburgh taking this, but the Islanders are so good in the playoffs for some reason. They are so built for the playoffs, and I just can't see them losing in the first round, especially to Pittsburgh, who hasn't won an actual playoff game in 2 years. So I have them in 6 games. So up next, I have the Boston Bruins beating the Washington Capitals. I think they will win this in 6 games, considering that their Washington Stars haven't played in a while. I think I don't know if they're injured or they're just saving them, but if they're injured, they're fucked. If they're not playing, they're going to be rusty. But I think Boston's going to be so ready for the playoffs, and I think they're going to do great in these playoffs. So up next, I have the Vegas Golden Knights over the St. Louis Blues, and I feel like this one's pretty obvious, but I feel like 90% of people are going to pick the Vegas Golden Knights. I have them in 5 games. St. Louis just doesn't compare anymore to a team like Vegas. They used to, but they just don't anymore. So up next, I got Colorado Avalanche beating the Minnesota Wild in 4 games. I think this is going to be a sweep. It's really close in the standings, but I don't think it's going to be really close in the actual games because I just don't think these two teams are even close to skill level. And I feel like Colorado's going to show that in the playoffs if they are fully healthy and if things go right for them. So now I have in the conference final the Toronto Maple Leafs beating the Winnipeg Jets in 7 games. I think it's going to be a hard fought series, tooth and nail. Toronto had their number in the second half of the season. The Jets definitely had their number in this first half and played really well against them. But the games were never like too divided, I wouldn't say, especially with the eye test. But I think these are two evenly matched teams, and this is going to be a great series. One of my favorite series would probably be this one out of my whole bracket, and I would just love to see it. So up next here, I have the Carolina Hurricanes beating the Tampa Bay Lightning, which some of you might find that an upset. It wouldn't be compared to the standings, but with the teams, it just Tampa looks better on paper. But Carolina is so underrated, and a lot of players on Carolina are undervalued just because of the team they play on. But I think they could go far in these playoffs, and I have them winning this series in 6 games. So up next, I have the Boston Bruins beating the New York Islanders, and I think this would be a hard series for them to win, but I still think they can do it, and I think they'll do it in 7 games. It would be a very close series because the Islanders' structure is just so good, their defense is so good, but I think whoever Boston plays in net at that point is for sure the number one guy, and he's going to be the best guy, and he's going to step up. And I think they'll just take the
So
series in
now I
seven.
have the Winnipeg Jets beating the Colorado Avalanche, and I would have Colorado, but honestly, I don't know what it is. They just get injured so often, and Vegas is close to Colorado's skill level, so I feel like one injury is enough to put Vegas over Colorado. They were in the standings, but I just think Colorado's more skilled until they get that one injury. So this is the reseeded matchups. I just realized now that I just switched the teams from whatever side they were on, but whatever. So I have Vegas beating Boston in 6 games in the semifinals, and so uh, basically this just comes down to Boston's defense. It's not good enough. Compare it to Petrangelo, um, Theodore, McNabb, guys like that. No, it doesn't compare. And then offense is, I'd say, pretty close. I'd give the edge to Boston, and then in goaltending, I would also give the edge to Vegas. So, before you say anything, I am not a Leafs fan, so you can't call me out on being biased. I'm not a Leafs fan, I am a Hawks fan. But I don't know, something in me just told me to pick the Leafs. I wanted to pick Carolina, but something in me said pick the Leafs. And so I picked the Leafs to beat Carolina. I mean, I could see it happening. It's not likely, but I could see it happening. Just Jack Campbell would have to step up big. And as the Stanley Cup champions, I have the Vegas Golden Knights. So that's my bracket. Let me know yours in the comments, or if you made a video, um, tell me what the video is in the comments, and I'll check it out. I'm really interested to see your guys. So yeah, just comment it down below if you want to, and make sure you hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more NHL videos. I make like playoff hype videos. I sometimes make video game videos, but I'm trying to turn more towards hockey, like real life hockey. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.